Good morning and welcome back to Ecocentric. Decided to give you another little update on what's being harvested and how the garden's going. So here we are with the few things I've recorded, and I'll mention what I didn't record. You're fogging up. Hopefully this comes out good. We're out just past the maple tree. This service berry looks like it's in a good position, and there's quite a few ripe berries on it, and I'm not seeing any sign of where any of the blossoms got infected with that fungus. Now I'll show you what it looks like afterwards. However, I'm late. There's a lot of berries that have gone bad now. They got ripe, and of course they're overripe and rotting. I'm going to pick all the good ones here, and then I'll move on to the next one. We'll go around the property and see how many good berries we can get. Odd. There are several here, but there's not many berries. I don't know if the birds ate them or not. They're around the edge of this spruce tree. See, the birds eat berries and they go up there and they poop down, and the seeds are in their dung and they sprout. We're just over from the apple tree over right there. But I can show you this here. This is an example of a blossom that got infected by, it's called cedar apple rust. It's a misnomer because the fungus actually goes into the bark of juniper trees, and in the spring it jumps to the blossoms of apple relatives. So the version I have infects the bark of the prostrate juniper, and it jumps to serviceberry blossoms. These berries, if they're soft, they're good. I thought you had to wait for them to go purple, but I tested them, and no, these here, as long as they're soft, they're still good. Now here's another one that's gone really funny. See that? That's once again that fungus. Surprise, surprise! I have two areas on the property where there's a bunch, and then there's three others around. And apparently the one out by the fence was the only one that produced anything worth talking about. I expected to get at least a cupful, but no, that's all I got. This will be the 5th and the 6th tomato I got. This is early Siberian, so I'm saving seeds from these. Kohlrabi can grow fairly large, but as you know, irrigating, you run the sprinkler and give it 5 millimeters of water. It's not the same as 5 millimeters of rain. And we got 14 millimeters of rain, and I have some kohlrabi here growing, and you see this one split and this one. Now that's the two largest, so I'm going to take them out. I didn't remember, they are actually can get quite hard. So I just twist the roots off, break the leaves off. That'll be that. Most of the turnips are gone here now. The other ones aren't quite full size, so I'll leave them, but pretty soon I'll be able to clean out this bed and then just cover it in a thick layer of mulch for the winter. I have potato plants starting to die back. This is not disease or anything. Determinate potatoes, they only live so long and then they'll die. Traditionally, we would wait for the potatoes to die. They say the tubers can continue to grow for up to 2 weeks after the potatoes, the plant above dies. But traditionally, in the past, with a cooler climate, the potatoes would be planted mid-June or later, and normally it was frost that killed the plant. The plant has just come to its end of its life. And so I don't know if the potatoes in this situation, would the plant die and the potatoes still be growing? So what I'm going to do now is, there's the deadest of the plants right there, and we're going to take that up. So let's see, now we'll take this one up and see what's down beneath. Nice potato. Oh, we get a lot of this here. It's just a variation in the skin. There's nothing to be concerned about. See, digging it that way, they're just barely under the soil, see? Very easy to dig out when you grow them that way. I'll weigh them when I go in and see if they are a pound, then that's about what would be expected out of a plant anyway. I have some onions, the Alyssa Craig, are still standing up, which is good because I want them to grow really big. I'm still hoping. But some of the other ones, they're starting to fall over. You see that? This is the Red Spring. And there's this one. I'm going to use this one today. Put that down there. And there's the other red onions over here. Some of them are still up, some of them are still down, but I'm going to take this one. Now, bush crop cucumber, so I just checked. I have two of this size. Now, it's online it says when they get to 6 to 8 inches, which is a good number because I know when I spread my hand out from the tip of my thumb to the tip of my pinky is 6 inches. So it's got a ways to grow yet. And I have another one. He's fatter, but still the same length in there. Speaking of cucumbers, the plant that was here, it succumbed to the heat in late July. It had one cucumber partially grown and 2 more just starting, and the plant died because of the heat. That's my harvest for today. I'm going to have fried potato, onion and mushrooms for supper. I might cut up them 2 tomatoes and throw in with them as well. St. John's wort flowers is something that you do quite often. Like I said, they will be flowering right up until frost. I don't get out often enough to keep them all from going to seed, because I don't need any to go to seed. I could technically try and get every flower, but I don't know if that's necessary or not. Slightly bent over like that, my back was starting to get sore. What I need to do is make a swivel seat the same height as this milk crate I'm sitting on. I have the seat, just need to make a base. In chamomile, there's been a couple harvests of those. I have a Now with the chamomile, you do have to let some go to seed because they are a reseeding annual. Starting to have to keep an eye on these beans here. Some of them are starting to turn color. They'll be drying here pretty soon. Raspberry harvesting has come to an end now. I have 52 point bottles in the house. I'm going to do one last pick over here to see if I can get enough to bring me up to the same amount that I recorded last year that I harvested. That won't bring me up to last year's harvest, but that's what I got. So that's the end of raspberry picking. And another task ready to be done now, and that is the cutting out of the whole canes. I inspected among the beets. These are those that have the alternating white and red rings, and from the very outside they're quite a bit different. They're quite a bit lighter red than the other beets. Earlier I did pull 2 more of, they're supposed to be both like this, but some of them turn out like this. I pulled 3 earlier, and when I inspected just then I found 2 more. As far as the bull's blood goes, where there was a clump, I pulled out these 2. I think there's 2 things. I planted them 2 inches apart, and pretty much every set gave me 3 and 4 beets, so they were really crowded in. And now with them up so big, it would be extremely difficult if I did want to try and thin them out. So I'm going to end up with a whole lot of small beets for the bull's blood. Detroit Dark Red, they're not sizing up just because they're in under the tree, so they're going to go till the last day, and what I got, I got. So now with that harvest, the value of what I have recorded comes to $12 more than what I spent in garden supplies. But I haven't put the garlic on the record yet because the weather cooled down and I was inspired to do other things, so the garlic is still sitting in the sunroom curing. I have yet to weigh that and put it on the record. So I hope you enjoyed it, and make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button, leave me a comment, and I'll see you in the next video.